Hi, David, DMA Real Estate, coming to you from our Be the 10% training and education headquarters, where we help realtors become part of the 10% of realtors that are real estate professionals. Today, we're going to talk about a topic that I'm extremely excited about and also extremely knowledgeable about. And what we're going to talk about today are the 3 things that a seller wants to know when you go on a listing appointment. And a little bit about my background. I've listed over 3,000 houses, have near 90% success rate on going on listing appointments. And listings in real estate's not rocket science, but if you can nail down these 3 points, you will have a successful listing appointment. So without further ado, let's get to those 3 points. And a little teaser, stay till the very end because there's a 4th point that I'm going to bring up that's coming up quite a bit recently. The number 1 thing that a seller wants to know on that listing appointment, what's my house worth? What can you sell my house worth? And this is going to take an extensive knowledge of comparable sales that helps give you the range of where the house should sell at, and also a very good understanding of the competition, what's currently on the market or what's under sales contract. And that's going to help you pinpoint the exact price. Having this knowledge of the comps, of what's currently on the market, and also of the neighborhood in general is going to help give you credibility and validity, and it's going to be a great first step towards you getting that listing. The second thing that a seller wants to know is, what am I going to net from the sale of my home? You've gone over what you think you can sell the house for. Now the seller wants to know, what am I going to walk away with from the sale? So make sure that you have a good understanding of an estimation of proceeds or have an estimation of proceeds sheet, which gives a net sheet of what the seller is going to walk away with based on the price that you feel that you're going to be able to sell the house for. Now, one thing I would recommend is be conservative in the sales price, etc., and just kind of say, I like to deal with worst case scenario. So on a worst case scenario, this is what you're going to walk away with. If you want to go over what expenses should be on that estimation of proceeds sheet, or you don't have one, DM me here or give me a call and I can kind of go over what we use for our estimation of proceeds sheet. The third thing that a seller wants to know, and is the most important, is what are you going to do to market my home? What makes you uniquely qualified to list and sell my home? And this is what I refer to as a marketing plan, or a lot of people will call it their value proposition. And this is where you have to differentiate yourself from the crowd. What do you do that sets yourself apart from every other realtor out there? And there's going to be some basic things that you want to make sure that you have in there. And then the other big point that I want to bring up is that everybody has a unique value proposition that if you're competing against me for a listing, you should know what's the value proposition that I bring to the table that Dave may not. And then you hammer down on those points. So my big thing when it comes to the value proposition and going on a listing appointment is if you don't think you're number 1, the best person to be listing that home, don't even walk in the door. So if you're not 100% confident in your value proposition, give me a call, give me a DM. Let's go over it. I'm not going to give you those items that's going to help you defeat me in a listing appointment, but I will help you put in writing your value proposition so that when you go on your listing appointments, you knock it out of the park. But this is where you're going to differentiate yourself. And so make sure that you know everything that you bring to the table from a marketing standpoint. If you've made it through the first 3 things that a seller wants to know when they're listing their home, I'm going to give you a bonus 4th item, and this may be the most important one. One of the questions I'm getting and a lot of the phone calls I'm getting over the past few months are from sellers that are about 2 to 3 months out, and their question is, Dave, I'm thinking about listing my house. I'm probably looking about 2 to 3 months out. What I want to know is, what are the improvements that I can make to get my house ready for the market? And what are the things that I can do to get my largest return on investment? And most of these are going to be simple things like paint, carpet, landscaping. And one of the good parts and one of the things that you can do as a listing agent is that's a great segue into getting an appointment is, why don't I come out to your home and let's go through the house and we can determine the things that would help give you the largest return on your investment. Again, what we're always trying to do is provide something of value, and that is something of value that every seller wants to know. Thank you for joining us at the Be the 10% Training Studio. Today we talked about the 3 things that a seller wants to know on a listing appointment, the 3 bits of information that they have to have. And we talked about a 4th one, which is becoming more and more important. And a lot of the calls that I'm getting today are, what are the highest ROI improvements I can make to my property? Whoever has the listings wins. It's an adage in our business that's been as long as I've been in the business for 33 years. We want to bring you content, how to get more listings, how to service them correctly, and how to use one listing to get more listings. So follow us on this channel. Follow us on all of our social media channels. We are going to be going over the 5 steps to a successful listing appointment. We're going to be going over things like the 5 top home improvements that a seller can make. And we're also going to be going over the 5 top lead generation techniques to get listings. We're talking about what to do on a listing appointment. How about if we help you with techniques to get listings, to get those listing calls? So follow us, like us. We'll be bringing you content over the next few months that will help you increase your business. We look forward to it. Leave suggestions, DMs about content information or things that we can do to help you with your business. We are all realtors together. We're all in this together. How can we help you?